Hey, George McKenna here, again, talking about being crazy, because that's kind of my thing. It's what I am, I guess. I wanted to make this video, I guess, as a bit of a critique, more clearly, of this whole Bell Let's Talk campaign. I recently saw an article, the first article that I've seen that's actually started to ask some critical questions about, what is the purpose of this and what is actually being done. And I mean, come on, this is North America. The Bell Let's Talk campaign is a do nothing feel good campaign for people that aren't really affected by the condition but know someone that is and need to have some outlet to feel like, they're a victim too or something. I don't really get what the whole purpose of this Bell Let's Talk Day. But I'll tell you something that really kind of irks me, okay? Howie Mandel, you're not mentally ill. You have OCD. You've never been locked into a mental asylum to deal with your fucking OCD. This is the thing, like people that have actually been through the system of mental health. It's really to get to a position, it's nice to believe that, Howie Mandel has a story or whatever where he's been, in the depths and the pits of a mental institution and, still somehow managed to climb to the heights of fame. That's not Howie Mandel's story. That's my story. And the thing that really pisses me off has nothing to do with mental health services. It's just fucking other artists. Other artists and their pretentious level of shit. Because where art meets activism is where you have people that have different ideas and dissenting opinions. And artists sometimes are very afraid of fucking well, I shouldn't say all artists. I should say pretentious douchebag artists are really afraid of things that come and tip the apple cart. Well, in the world of mental health, there's nothing that's right with that system. Being mental health incarcerated is just like being incarcerated anywhere else. With the difference that there's now an element of psychotropic drugging being involved. So the prison that you're in and the conditioning and behavioral modifications that you're being subjected to make you weak and afraid because of the way things happen there. What makes mental institutions somewhat useful for someone that's in psychosis or, trying to sort out reality, because that's really all mental illness is. I mean, you get confused about reality and then you're trying to sort it out. But the only thing that's useful about those places is the other patients. Because all you do is you do this thing where you're going, well, okay, logical, that's illogical. Okay, so I'm going to associate with more logical people. And, you find yourself in a series of situations, and you end up talking to a lot of different people just to pass the time. And pretty quickly you realize that everybody that's in an insane asylum, for the most part, is dealing with some type of existential issue, either spirituality, some guy thinks he's Jesus, or another guy thinks he's Buddha, or another guy's Muhammad, I've met all of these people. And I think that's something that would be a very interesting area of study that would probably produce very interesting, would produce some results that I think wouldn't exactly be quantifiable until you actually did the observations. But a study of the group behavior and the group dynamics of mental patients in confinement. I like to joke around and I like to try and be funny and stuff, but the reality is like with the mental health system set up the way that it is, I don't live in a free country. Whenever I talk about things that I think, if my opinion is so divergent from others that no one really sees where I'm coming from, then it turns into a thing, oh, that guy's fucking nuts, I don't really see him. And then it escalates, and it escalates to a point where people, your friends, or people that know you, will try and control you. So, in my life, I was abused and molested as a kid, and whenever I was at the point where I was kind of piecing together things about my abuser and such, I would call and confront them on the phone, and then they would say that clearly I'm delusional, and then they would call mental health services and I would be incarcerated. So the lack of oversight over this process, over how we determine whether or not this person needs to be locked up and isolated from society, there's no oversight there. It's purely a business at this point. And psychiatry as a profession is what I would describe as a parasitic profession. What psychiatry's operating model as a business to do is to fill the beds in the hospital and to prescribe as much psychiatric medication as possible. And what this does is drains billions of dollars out of the tax system. Billions of dollars goes towards these huge American pharmaceutical companies. Billions of dollars goes towards housing people in hospitals. And these prices, the amount of money that we're getting charged for this is insane. Like right now, Trillium Health Center is trying to collect a $2,000 debt from me. And the reason why this debt exists is because I got mental health arrested. And I refuse to get an Ontario health card because I don't like being mental health arrested. And my whole thinking behind this, and the way the story plays out, demonstrates exactly what I think about psychiatry and how it works. So I got mental health arrested without a valid health card, and I was locked into solitary confinement for 3 days and then released. Now, if I had had an Ontario health card that was valid, not only would I have been subjected to the 72-hour hold, but then I would have had to be incarcerated for another 2 weeks up to a month. And all of that would be at the discretion of a quack. One single person has the discretion over how much of my life I lose to being incarcerated to this institution. So it's very frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. But now I have a collection agency coming after me for $2,000 because I'm getting charged $2,000 for being locked in solitary confinement for 3 days. with a drug called haloperidol, force injected into my body, which has been linked to causing Parkinson's disease. And now they want me to pay for the torture that they inflicted on me. So, I'm glad that Howie Mandel was able to overcome his fucking obsessive-compulsive disorder, which is really such a fucking rich person's disease, Oh, I'm so scared of germs. I can't touch the fucking thing. Fucking asshole. You know how they would treat someone that was like that pretentious about their OCD in a psych ward? They would just lock you in solitary confinement until you made peace with that issue. So, you want to really talk about what the hell's going on with the mental health system? Talk to somebody that's actually fucking been through it. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not speaking in this polished corporate language that you fucking asshat clowns love to sell everything about humanity through? Well, guess what? Mental health is about the human soul, and that's not for sale. So let's really fucking talk.